Hello friends and welcome to the channel. My name is Ryan Abair and this is where I share my insights. And today I'm talking about overcoming a scarcity mindset. And we're going to talk about the strange places that scarcity hides in our psyche. And we're going to bring attention to those places and hopefully we'll minimize the effects of scarcity mindset. Stick around and we're going to talk about overcoming scarcity. You may be surprised about the scarcity mindset, which essentially is paranoia. You are scaring yourself if you have this feeling that the universe is stingy. There's not enough to go around, and when is it my turn? And these are limiting beliefs that are very difficult to catch in yourself, particularly if you're mired down. So some people are really mired down in scarcity mindset and they are paralyzed to the point of being petrified. You might call that being, sort of walking around dead and dull. And this particular way of thinking is based on all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. And this dullness, this heaviness, this force, this darkness of stinginess and scarcity hides in not contemplating the source of our scarcity mindset, which is ourselves. You are scaring yourself if you believe that there's a caprice in the universe, that good things only come to select few, or God only blesses his favorites. This is all based in this word scarcity. So I've made some notes, I'm sort of reading on my computer here. Where does scarcity hide? Well, in the obvious place, we have this alienating feeling that there won't be enough. This is the idea of running out of time, running out of ideas, running out of food, running out of supplies, and running out of resources. It's the notion that we're at the end of our wits. I'm at my wits' end. I'm stressed out. I'm just, oh man. And all you got to do is pay attention to the way people think, and you'll be able to hear in their talk how they argue for their limits. I am always amazed at just how argumentative people are about the apocalypse. I just never have enough time. There's not enough time in the day to get everything done. I'm just so busy. I just wish I had some time. You will hear scarcity mindset in the person who's stretched too thin, overwhelmed. You hear this exaggerated language. Don't have enough time. I'm too old to start exercising. I can't possibly. It's basically language that's laced in I can't. That's easy to understand. Now, the flip side of that way of thinking is I am afraid that what I have will be taken away. So here's one surprising corner where scarcity hides, and that's in gluttony and obesity. At the heart of obesity is a fear that there won't be any more tomorrow. There's not enough now is that I'm beyond the point. I'm just already destitute. Gluttony and obesity and those sorts of things are rooted in there will not be enough tomorrow. So in the animal kingdom, some animals eat their fill and more because they have to pile on body weight to get through the winter or whatever. But human beings have not overcome this primordial basic instinct that there won't be enough later. So what you have is you have stockpiling. You got people that just pile it on, not only in the pantry, but in their carts at Costco and in their bodies, stuffing and stuffing and stuffing their faces. It's a fear. Obesity is a fear of, ooh, I'm going to run out a few weeks from now. Now, that might be a cruel way to put it, but it is. It's at a biological level, that's what that is. And we call it comfort eating. My mother calls it, I'm a stress eater. That's because she is preoccupied with loss in the future. It has nothing to do with how things are now. This is just somebody who's been pulled away into a future scenario where they're going to run out. So I better stockpile. So that's glut. So you're in a glut. Either you're in a debt or a glut. Those are two forms of scarcity. So you can see that somebody with lots of monetary wealth, lots of supplies and homes and cars and all stuff, they have done that most likely because they fear losing, right? And so the wealthy keep getting rich and the poor keep getting poor because they're both in the same camp. I'm either afraid it's going to be taken away or I'm afraid it's already been taken away and I can't access it. Number 3, scarcity hides in what we call settling for less or depriving yourself. It would be like having some money in the bank or some resources. Say you need a root canal, and that's $3,000, and you have $5,000. Well, that's going to wipe out all my resources. I'm not going to fix my teeth. I'd rather my teeth rot than what I have in the bank account, which is also rotting, you see. Or taping your car with duct tape and putting your life in danger because you've got some component like a brake line that's just been taped together with some duct tape. Oh, let's just knock on wood and let's just hope that the God in the sky is going to watch over me. Rather than using what you have in the bank, using what you have to fix your mode of transportation. And we do this all the time. Or we feel that we're so damn ugly that nobody who's nice, financially secure, fun, and interesting would want to be in a relationship with us. That's also depriving yourself, so you settle for the first person that gives you a wink or tells you that you're beautiful. So you fall for it because you think in scarcity mindset, who would ever love me? And then you meet somebody who's more attractive than you, and you think, oh man, they're going to drop me like a lead balloon. You see the mentality? You can't hold on. Scarcity is about, I can't hold on to anything, but I'm holding on to it. And you go back and forth from thinking, ooh, I'm going to prevent this loss, or I'm going to hold on so tight to it. You see? So depriving yourself is it's settling for what you can get. That's what it is, right? Never treating yourself. Not buying the good stuff. Going into the bargain bins. Buying the pre-rotting food. You know what? This avocado is rotten, but it's cheaper. So I'm going to buy that piece of shit rather than spend an extra $1 on the avocado that's ripe and not deteriorated, because I'm worth it, because I want the nutrients of the more quality experience. It's like having a house full of IKEA furniture. Everybody goes crazy over IKEA furniture, but it falls apart. Buy the good furniture or go buy an antique. Those things were built to last. So it's about not depriving yourself, but giving yourself what you truly want and deserve. Number 4 is Scarcity hides in competition with others, and it hides as envy, jealousy, and urgency. And this goes along with gluttony and overage. It'd be like everybody's in competition for only a few select spots. That's what we think. That only a few people in the world can ever achieve any kind of financial independence or do something extraordinary or have anything amazing. Those are just blessed people. And I'm not one of those people. So what happens is you become envious and jealous of people rather than seeing them as examples of what you can do. And my dog is like that. She is ravenous about food. So she must have been part of a litter where there was a lot of competition. And she's kind of a runt, I guess, and she wasn't able to fend for herself. So when you feed her, she swallows it whole. So there's an urgency there, you see? If you're in a scarcity mindset, you feel like urgent. We got to push. I'm running out of time. Ooh, I better eat all this food before somebody comes and takes it. I better squirrel all this money away in a safe Swiss bank account in case the market goes down. It's this just complete fear of loss. So then you develop a competition with others, and it's not. It's just self-fulfilling prophecy. You're just competing with this demon in your head. You. And number 5 is scarcity mindset hides in this notion that resources give you influence and power. So I can't be influential, I can't be powerful, I can't be attractive until I have this much money, this many homes, and these kinds of titles. Then I'll have some influence in the world. Well, can I tell you something? Gandhi didn't have a thing, and he's one of the most influential people in the world. Mother Teresa didn't have anything. She was impoverished by these standards, and she was one of the most powerful figureheads in the world. Jesus didn't either. He slept on couches and was supported by patrons. That was not a part of his monetary wealth, was not a part of his way of thinking. That doesn't mean we have to renounce it. It doesn't mean that it's bad. You just don't need the resources to be a powerful, influential person who makes a difference in the world. You can do that with absolutely nothing. And YouTube is wonderful. We all have our own television stations. In the comfort of our own homes, we can produce our own shows, our own content. Never has access to the public been more available than now. And yet, people feel they don't have access to sharing their ideas and their creativity. And technology makes it available to everybody who has an internet connection and a camera. But we don't take advantage of it. Not yet, anyway. Number 6 is scarcity hides in this conventional way of thinking that fun, play, lightheartedness, and love are luxury items for later. That we cannot make fun, play, lightheartedness, and love part of the priority until we have enough money to do that. It's like, I'll go on vacation when I save up my money. I'm going to play when Friday comes. I'm going to really have a good time when I retire. It's this putting off kind of thing that we keep thinking once we have this, then we can prioritize fun and joy and love and lightheartedness. That's conventional thinking. And scarcity hides in that. Number 7 is this idea that you haven't exhausted all possible ways of scaring yourself yet. Now, this is tricky. Scarcity goes away when you have exhausted all stories of destitution. All right, so you can think of as many different ways as you can of scaring yourself. And the universe has done this already in examples of people who have literally scared themselves to death. And it's not until you get to death that you realize that was where you should have started. So, locked in a coffin, imprisoned, Let's go through all the scenarios that you can think of. Living in a cardboard box. Yeah, that'd be pretty bad, but you'd still be alive. How about being locked up in prison? Well, Paul was in prison and wrote about half of the New Testament and wrote, "Rejoice in the Lord always, and again I say rejoice." And he wrote that in prison, waiting to be put to death. So somehow he overcame the fear of being in prison. What about not having a body that works? Well, if that's what you're afraid of, then Stephen Hawking, who became the world's most influential astrophysicist, with a body that did not work, then that's what you'd become. If you didn't have a body that worked, you'd become the world's greatest thinker. And technology made it possible for Stephen Hawking to communicate his ideas. So that was not a limit. What about torture? Well, people have tortured each other for a long time. And torture is one of those strange phenomena that if you torture somebody enough, the pain sensors in the brain turn off and it becomes ineffective. So torture has a limit, and it flips into something else. What about drowning? Oh yeah, then you get closer to death, and it's not until you start contemplating your own death and realize, okay, you can't avoid it. So what about a terminal diagnosis? Well, people have overcome that too. They've made peace with their death, and the last few days of their life have been the most beautiful, and they wonder why the other parts of their life weren't beautiful. So scarcity is simply just going through all of the scary stories and running out of ideas until you get to death. And then when you really contemplate your death and you're not afraid to die, if you're not afraid to die, how would living in a cardboard box be any more scary? How would being broke be any more scary? How would going bankrupt be any more scary if you're not afraid to die? If you're not afraid to die, you're not afraid to do anything. You've just exhausted all the scary stories. You've exhausted this idea that you're a fish out of water and you're casting your net into the water, and your net is your concept of the future, and the water passes right through your net. And you're like, what the hell? I can't catch the future. I can't conform reality to my mind. I must be reality, and my mind must be some kind of pseudo-reality, and that's what it is. So, my version, Ryan Abear's version, and I don't know who Ryan Abear is, I'm just an idiot on the internet. This is my definition of scarcity. It's a scary story in the mind about doomsday. Then, it is the futile application of force or tension in the body against something that cannot be moved, altered, changed, slowed down, sped up, or reversed. You might need to go back and watch that again. In a nutshell, it is tension in the body against a story in the head, against something that cannot be changed, moved, altered, reversed, sped up, or slowed down. That's what's called the flow. And if you get back into that image of the fish out of water, you turn yourself over to the water rather than try to catch it, dominate it, get ahead of it. You jump in and you realize, oh, I'm just floating in this thing. And scarcity is thinking you have control over it. That's all it is. And to the extent that you think you have control over it, or that it's out of control, those are two things. I'm going to control it, or it's just all out of control. It's just the complete annihilation of control altogether, or lack of control. It's somehow in this middle place where it's either all fucked up, or it's all organized, or it's just you're gone in the center of it, and there's no more polarity between gluttony and not having enough. Do we live in an extravagant universe or a stingy universe? And the answer to that is yes. It's just, what do you align with? And it's not until you kind of accept your death and your mortality that you realize it's kind of all gravy anyway, right? So I hope that these ideas of scarcity and my little bullet points about where these hide, I hope that they have exposed your own paranoia and that all is okay, and that maybe you're just overextending into the future, which has never been visited. You've never been to the future. So why spend time thinking about it? And you'll find a richness now, a fullness now. And that when scarcity gets out of the way, it's like a balloon that has been popped, and it goes, all the air deflates. However, the balloon still expands. There's nothing in it, and it still expands by itself in this invisible space that is not filled with any junk, but it's empty, clear, and bright. My name is Ryan Hebert. Hope you enjoyed these insights. Please check out my blog, mymorningmotivator.com.